Okay, so let me share about myself. I'm Aroh. I work for a company, and where I mostly work for OpenAI. I work for M65, SharePoint, everything, right? But here I just want to share for the knowledge of the community. See, I'm also learning. I want to share it with other people. So not everything I know, maybe I know. So maybe there's other people, Nandeep and other people who maybe know more than other people. So it's okay. Everyone is learning here. So I just want to share what I have for you. And then if I can't answer, obviously I'll get back to you if I can, right? So let's see. Myself, I'm a Microsoft alumni. I'm a certified trainer. Um, three things I mostly do. I'm very passionate to learn new things. OpenAI is something new for me as well. And keep on trying how it works and then share that knowledge with the community people. I'm very, very passionate about Microsoft technologies. So that is my passion to share and practice it first and then share with the community. That is about myself. You can now, again, no images showing up, but this is the first one is my email. Other one is my LinkedIn. And the last one is a Twitter or X, whatever it is. So that is my Twitter handle here or X handle. Okay, now as we discussed with Nandip mentioned, right, we are working on something on the three-part series. This is the second session we are working on, and we today will work on how to we can get started with OpenAI. What is required getting started? That is something very important. Second, then how we can use models. There are a lot of models. OpenAI and Azure OpenAI both have models, and we see into Azure OpenAI, right? Because I don't have access to the GPT plus, but I have access to the Azure API. So at least I can show you what is possible there. We talk about use case scenario, real one, which I have implemented to free of the customers within Microsoft and outside Microsoft. And then pricing model, they are keep changing, but again, most of the things are preview. So take note, practice it with the as a preview features. Don't do into production. And then we last we work on the text models. There are a lot of text models under Azure OpenAI. We see how it works. So again, there's no coding here. It's mostly to introduction and how you can leverage. So all three sessions are no coding, but I will do a one session on the fourth session maybe with how we can integrate with your Power Platform with Azure OpenAI. So that is something, stay tuned. I'm working on that and I will present that one maybe next year, right? So there are a lot of things on my plate. So let me show you what is we can do. Now, we have the third series. We have the first series is all about the exploring OpenAI, ChatGPT, how it works. This session we work on the basics of OpenAI, the models, the pricing model, and the how we can utilize. I just added the enterprise data, bring that data, but it's just added because it just came last week. So I want to show you how we can leverage it. Okay. And then the next session will be 25th of November. They work on how to work on responsible AI. This is so crucial that so important that when your company is working or any organization or you're trying yourself, why you have to use the responsible AI, right? So something we work on the last session on that. Now, one thing which I want to tell you, maybe not everyone have access to OpenAI service. You have to request, and I will show you that even for me, it is ever rejected. Even as a Microsoft employee, I was rejected. So I will tell you what is the things you have to do it well so that your request for OpenAI service is accepted, right? So again, I'm not working in Microsoft anymore, but when I was working in Microsoft, I was rejected twice. So I did make a small mistake. So I doesn't want to repeat with all the community members. Just see what is has to be done. I will give a demo what is required and what is the landmine, what is not to be done. Do and not to do. Those things we will see in the form. Okay. ChatGPT, the first demo showing you how to request the OpenAI service. And then how we can use it. Okay, so this is my first demo. And this demo is about how we can request it. Okay. And I will share this link with you that maybe who are people who are online, they can also view it as well. I mean, just going to share it, requesting the OpenAI service. AI request form. Okay. Okay. Now, one thing I will tell you, you have to be controlled in terms of what is you have to fill in. First thing, your application will be denied if you're not enterprise customer. So which means, what do you mean by enterprise customers? You are working in a company. You don't have if you are freelancer, you can also or obviously do it, but you must have a company email address, right? You can't work for Gmail and Hotmail. Although I work on Microsoft earlier, but I make a mistake and that way I was rejected twice. That is not a big problem, but I want to tell you the what has been done. You must have enterprise customer. It's a small customer, big customer, doesn't matter. So what you have to do, you have to put the name and last name, whatever it is. You have to add your subscription ID, not a name. Okay. Let me show you what I mean. So this is my Azure ID, Azure, and I have ID, right? So there's this ID and subscription. They're two different things. So you have to add the subscription ID. Okay, you can have one or two, doesn't matter. Okay, so when you click on subscription, right, this is the ID. I was putting the name of my tenant, so it was rejected. You need ID. So if I click on my subscription, where is my subscription? Satya, click on subscription.
Aroh, I have a question here. So
Yes.
is this subscription ID needs to be enterprise subscription ID? A personal subscription ID will also do. I'm not sure how to create personal subscription ID.
No. You don't need anything. Yeah, I just want to just get to it. I couldn't find my subscription ID also. One second. Yeah,
Uh,
that is something. Yeah. I was just doing yesterday. Okay. Yeah. So this is two IDs I have. So you have to enter this ID. Okay. You don't the name. When I was doing it because you know that we are in the fast-paced environment. I was copying this thing and it was rejected. So you have to copy the IDs. Okay, on the IDs. I don't know whichever things. So the question is that should be enterprise customer. You can't be a personal email address. Example, my is um, you see, is not a Hotmail or this thing. It won't work for you. So you have to put and irrespective should not be Gmail non-email address. I mean, not personal email address will work. Not Gmail, Hotmail will work for you. Make sense?
Yeah, but what is the alternate way then? See, enterprise subscription ID might not be available to everyone. It needs elevated kind of approvals for that. And if someone wants to explore or really learn like me, a person
Oh,
like me, how
yeah,
should I
yeah.
go ahead and do that?
So in that case, I showed you one amazing thing. We call it something CDX. What is CDX? I forgot the name. Um, Nandip, you help me, man. I don't know what is the name of the CDX, right? Demo.cdx. So what do you do here? Put the Microsoft account, right, and create a subscription ID for that. Yeah. So that in that context, you're not using Microsoft account. You're using another account. You add on Microsoft.com. So that will work for you. You don't need that thing. So what you have to do, you have to put CDX environment or put a personal email address which is work for 90 days. Then you can test it out.
Probably
Right?
I'll need more help from you. I'll just ping you sometime
Okay, no
over
issue.
LinkedIn or
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So that
because
is something which I want to call out that this you must have enterprise ID, enterprise customer. If you are even you freelancer, you must have company ID. For example, I have company abcd.com. That ID will work. Not
okay, so does
yeah.
it not require any approval? Say, for example, I have my organization email address, but
Mm.
over there it will go to my. I can use it outside of my enterprise ecosystem, correct?
Yeah,
Is
you
it
can.
is it is
Yes.
just the email ID that is required, nothing more than that, correct?
Nothing more that, yeah. So they
All
don't
right.
get this thing around. So anything will work on that. right?
All right.
Yeah.
Sure. Got it.
Yeah. So subscription ID, you can how many IDs you need, and ID I mentioned that I made a mistake, so you have to put ID, not the name. Um, uh, Personal email address won't be the right. So example, I put my company name called as abc.com. It will work. Okay, not it will something I won't tell you. Company name is important and the address is required because Microsoft will validate if the company does exist or not. It's not the company is just a shell company. They need an ID and address, city of company, the province, and zip, and the address. So why Microsoft checking? Because there's so many shell companies we are creating, and so they want to validate first and then give the ID subscription. Okay. Um, Company a website. One thing, second thing I will tell you is that the number. So if you work in a company, you put personal email address, it won't work again. This is something which I also put. My phone number, it didn't work as well. So these are a few things, some gotchas you have to follow before you get a subscription ID from Azure OpenAI.
So for
Okay.
this also, email, this phone number, it is a corporate mobile device. So that cannot be used, you mean to say, even though
Yeah,
it is a
or
corporate.
corporate, yeah. So even for me, example, in my organization, I have a corporate phone number. Leverage. I
Okay.
have one company which is the company provided phone number. I can use that number. But one thing they mentioned is HQ. You need a HQ of the company. So they need to call that number. It may they what. So personal phone maybe not work for you. So that's something what you want to you have to check in that.
So any phone number that is listed on the company's website, right?
Yes, they want to see that number, the HQ number. It may be working in a small scale, or even a small scale company, and you have a one landline number. They will call that number just for verification purpose.
Okay, landline. All right. So if it is a work number that is linked to Teams, that is fine. My
Yeah,
own
that is
personal
fine as
number.
well. Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. Yeah. But
Yeah,
there's
thank you.
something to take note that they mostly call that number,
Okay.
right? Validation. Second thing is if you are a SI, if a partner, I was a partner, then I'm not a partner. So it depends on what it may be a customer. It can be something you can do thing, you can put that thing. So people like Nandeep, Smita, they're MVPs, so they can request for that. Right? People who are SI, Avanant, Accenture, they can put their email address on that. Other as ISVs, small companies, they can put there, right? Microsoft solution sellers, they can put things. But if you think that it doesn't carry, doesn't even doesn't work, then you put some reason that maybe you're not a SI, you're not an ISV, but you are a customer. Example for me, it doesn't work because I'm neither of this thing. I have to put customer here because I'm into enterprise customer, right? I will put customer here, example, right? So that is something to
So
take
can you repeat
to
what is
understand.
this independent service provider? What do you mean by that?
Sorry.
What do you mean by independent service provider?
Think about ShareKit that they have put a service, right? They could put subscription for that, right? So
Mhm.
ShareKit, think about Avanat, they have some solutions. So that is their solution ID will be there. Yeah. So the ISV is something who create new solutions, right? Think about SharePoint. SharePoint have a lot of third-party applications, right? So they can put the name of the ID. This is RU ISV using a third-party application, so you can put the name of the ISV there.
So what do you
Uh,
suggest in which bucket should normal enterprise organization should fit in?
Depend on what your things. It doesn't follow on my thing as example. Doesn't follow in my category as well. So I had to put customer. I'm
Okay.
not in either things. I put customer. So if you feel that these category doesn't fill in, you put something. So then Microsoft will see, okay, this is required. So I have put this required for this customer. You put that. All
All
right.
right. Thank you.
Okay, so these are the details, and what kind of services you need. You need a text, you need a dolly, need a new service or whisper. So if you want to check, try. You have to check all three. Then that particular service will given to you. Okay. Now, why putting so much time here? Because I wasted my own time. Yeah. So this is something very important. Do it very coolly, do it slowly, and then fill it. Because if you are It may take 2-3 weeks, and then you get a rejection. Then you can't test anything. So please do it slowly. That is something I'll tell you. Okay. Okay. Now we work on something which is OpenAI service. I'm not going to OpenAI. All the slide deck will be providing to you. But in last slide deck, I showed about OpenAI and Azure OpenAI main differences and all. But that is I will today and on the next session, with completely based on the OpenAI only, right? So now OpenAI services in REST API, just like your OpenAI is called, you can call the service. And the main differences between OpenAI and now they are now catching up. Now, when I showed that the session last October, OpenAI team has made lot of improvements. They also added their own data. So in Microsoft, they added something called as add your own data. But now last month, they added their own data, which means you can not non-Microsoft people can also add their own data. Think about GCP or some of your own hospital data. You want to keep it yourself, so that is possible. Earlier, it was not possible with OpenAI. So they're adding a lot of things. But one thing I will share it that no way Microsoft OpenAI does the reliability and the security controls and the SLA. Nobody can beat Microsoft. Why I'm telling you, because Microsoft Azure is very large ecosystem, and Microsoft have a lot of other services we can integrate. I can integrate with SharePoint. I can integrate with Power Platform. I can integrate with the Graph API. I can connect to third-party applications. So that is the beauty of Microsoft ecosystem. You can connect to any systems, just not Microsoft. I can connect to SAP system for that matter. OpenAI maybe have not opened that much. Again, they have REST API, but it's mostly written in Python. People don't know much about Python, so I'm not telling about what things, but in terms of as a Microsoft advocate, I'm telling you OpenAI service is slightly more stable than other applications. Okay. Now I'm going to share some, again, this is a slide deck. What I'm telling you, that lot of models are available. And everything I show you, just giving you a glimpse what is there. Now we have OpenAI models, and each has a different capabilities. Okay, and they have a proper naming convention, right? So each one is open capabilities, and it has a family, right? So capabilities, maybe few features are very fast, few features are very slow, few are more speedier in terms of the other systems. So we have to follow what capabilities it has, whether they are slow, what other kind of things, whether they can do Codex kind of systems. So OpenAI have followed this kind of formatting. Okay. Just want to tell again, everyone knows about GPT-3, that is ChatGPT we were talking about. So it has set of 4 models. So it's just one model, it's set of models, and each models have different pricing model as well, right? So models are alphabetical order, depend on the fastest to which most capable. I give an example of a text. Now this is a very good because it's a very fast. But is it good for passing data which more complex scenarios? Probably no, because it has basic qualifications. It have. But I want to have for slightly more capable applications. Then I will go for and more complex scenarios. Then I will go to Turbo 3. This is slide deck will be given to you. Just want to give you the different capabilities. Now, I mentioned about text capabilities. So this one has a text capabilities. GPT-3, you know about ChatGPT. So it has a GPT plus also have for complex scenarios like formatting and other things you can do, right? So depends on the things. Now, another thing I want to tell you that the cost, the lower you go, yeah, this is more expensive. So Chat ADA model is very cheap. right? But if you go to GPT-3 or Turbo, it's very expensive. Depends on the how you have the capability of your cost, right? So GPT models are based on, again, there are a lot of models, right? So this is the one model, but each model have different capabilities, right? This is fastest, this is more capable, you can do this thing. So these are the things. Now, we also have GPT-4, which is a slightly more complex scenario, but is super complex, right? And it's only available into GTP Plus, and also available coming soon into already there into Azure, but it's very, very costly. Okay, even Azure, Microsoft not given that one to employees as well previously. Okay, and you have to give access. I give you the things if you want to go for, you can go for waiting list, just like OpenAI, or go for Microsoft, you have to go for waiting list because it's very, very bit expensive. I'm not going for that session because it's pretty complex to do it, and I don't have that much cost to show you. I have cost for show you what is that. So I'm showing you GPT-3 Turbo, which we see in our demos later on. Okay, so first model, GPT, which has a lot of models it has. GPT-4 is again different models. First model is the GPT-4 and GPT-4 and 32K. So these are different pricing, different things. So again, if this one cheap, this is expensive. Okay, so it depends on the things. Depend how you take it. Then the next third model we call as the Codex, which what it helps us to create your code, C# code to Node.js code to simple things. Example, I'm not a very amazingly example. I'm not a very fancy C# developer, or I'm from IT, but I got some code from someone, and I want to show to management that this person can be do this particular coding example, right? So what I can do, copy this thing and then generate a code for that. So that is possible. So Codex is where it actually create a simple um, human kind of think. Example, create a text, create a select star for a lot of groupings. So that is a normal, not technical guy can also write that particular code. So this is again a Codex thing. And if you know about GitHub Copilot have that particular capabilities. I don't have access to that, but give you that Codex is very, very popular. Okay. Again, is the OpenAI works for Python. It also support other languages. These are all the languages you have is supported. Okay. Codex is also pretty pricing. It has a cushion and the DaVinci, so you can go for that. So again, capabilities depends. You have a text away, you want to have a coding, you want to use a image generation. So this is the GPT-R has set of models. So we'll see some models later on, but give you a glimpse that what are these models are capable of, right? We think about the ADA, very fast, but not very good for terms of complex scenarios. DaVinci, very complex scenario can you can do, and also have text capabilities. So these are the few things we can do. Other things which is possible using the data representation. So you can have embedding. Now I'm not going to that one because it's out of the scope of this session series, but this is a link Microsoft tutorial I'm going to share with you later that you can have a look on that. This mostly need more complex coding required. So I'm not going to that, but give you an overall picture what these GPT models are included, and then how we can work with that. So this is a very basic models which we can see. Okay. Now let's show about now assume that you have already have your subscription ready. Okay, are you subscription ready? And then Microsoft will get welcome to our OpenAI service. They give some samples. Okay, these are I give you some samples, and then assume that you already have a subscription for OpenAI service. Okay, so this is my second demo. I have 5 demos, so let's see how much I can share with you. Okay, so this one is done. Now just assume that I have an OpenAI service. Okay, so I have click on yes. Now you can see that icon is there, which means I have access to my OpenAI service. Again, let me rephrase. even people who have normal people who have no access to OpenAI, that icon will still show in there. Okay. The only thing, they don't have service capabilities, which means the Microsoft not give them access for that subscription ID. So icon will be there, but you have no subscription. But in my demo, I have already have subscription ID, so it works fine. So I click on OpenAI. Now, just want to give you a glimpse that if you know about cognitive services, all these services will work for you. So my cognitive services, your customer vision, face API, everything will work. Translator, anomaly, everything. So Azure OpenAI service is an umbrella term. And here you can see is one of the example is OpenAI. You see 1, 2, 3, 4. There's many examples. So OpenAI is another additional service which Microsoft released. Okay. Now, if you want to create another, just assume that this is blank for me, and I will click a new. So I create a new subscription. I pick and we put yeah, and then I put subscription. Now, one thing to understand that not all the regions have this capability using OpenAI. Mostly I do is either use East US or East US 2. Right now, Microsoft is releasing many other regions as well, but those regions doesn't work. I mean, at least in Asia, right? So if you want to test, try something either in the East US or East US 2 or Central US. Depends on that. Yeah, you can try European countries, but the capabilities maybe not there. So I don't want to test my things. I just want to try on the East US or East. Okay, I put Pune UG. Okay, and then pricing. So again, now because I have subscription, I have this ID, right? And again, there's no free tier for OpenAI. I think one of the user asked me that is it free service? OpenAI, Azure OpenAI service is not a free service. We have to pay. It's not, there's no free tiers. There are some free tiers. In Cosmos DB, you have free tier. You have sphere of the services, you have free tiers, but not under OpenAI service. Just want to, yeah, people asked me this question, that's fine. OpenAI is a complex application, but you have to pay for that. Okay. So yeah, so I click on that, I then put network, and then I put Aroh OpenAI demo, click on next. And later, after a few seconds, my new service will be created. Okay. Now I can do a creation, but it takes some more time. So I just want to show you that these are the way you can create. So you see after this step, okay, click on create. And then a new instance of my OpenAI will be created for me. It's no rocket science, simple stuff. Now, I just want to save time. What I will do, I just click on my, I have two. One is the East US, one for US 2. Now, why I'm telling you, because here, the DAL-E, which we'll see in the demo later on, is works only on the East US. However, the ChatGPT part works into East US 2. Okay, that's why I have to test it out. Which demo I can show you. So in this example, I just create simple things. And if you know about basic of Azure, you know about all the basic stuff. You know about the encryption, pricing tier, cost analysis. Everything is simple stuff. What is new is about the endpoints, right? So I can create. So first thing I will do, if you are a developer, what you can do, I can click on the develop and click on the things. I click on the endpoint. Now this is my endpoint. Now I can call any third-party applications as an Azure Web App, Power App, anything. I can call this endpoint and this my key, and then I can call my ChatGPT. This is for the developers. Okay. However, if you are not a developer, what do? We can do something called as a OpenAI Studio, right? OpenAI Studio. In this scenario, what will happen? It will give you a glimpse about what capabilities we have. Just recently, we showed about the different models. Let me show you models. Now, there are different categories. I go step by step. Let me go to the models because we just seen it. Okay. And now Microsoft keeping updating. 4 months back, I have only ChatGPT. There's no Turbo. So they keep on adding, refreshing the new services. So I have now in my tenant, I have Turbo 16K, and ADA, which is like for the text things. Okay. So that is something which we can do. Okay. Um, so that is something we will do on that. Okay. Okay. Second thing which I mentioned to you previously is that Microsoft has added something called bring your own data. I give you a very simple example. I have a customer, it's a very large customer, and then he liked the OpenAI service, but he said, I don't want to share this content to external people. I want to have my own data. And they have a lot of VMs, app services and all. And that time, Microsoft didn't release the bring your own data functionality. So obviously it didn't work. But now after 2, 3 months, which means all your customers, all your internal users, again, internal users, if they have their own data, think about hospitals, think about financial industries, right? Doesn't want to share. So here, what you can do that click on bring your own data, right? And here, what I will do, I have 3 options. I can click on Azure Blob Storage. Okay. This question came from one of my other, I was doing a demo, and then he mentioned that can we do blob storage and cognitive services? That answer was no, because that Microsoft didn't sell it. Now Microsoft added new things, which means I can do my cognitive services using blob search. Okay, I've not configured, but other option is to using cognitive search, right? It's possible to add your data thing. You have a terabyte of data, or Cosmos DB, lot of data, and it doesn't want to surface. So then what you can do, you can use using Azure Cognitive Services search, and then it will work for you. So I'm not sharing you these details, but if you want to have more demos on that, I can make that demo for that, right? I give you, this is a basic functionality I'm showing you. The other thing is many customers ask is about, can I add my own files? And this is a common scenario, right? Not everyone has a Azure Blob Storage, not everyone has cognitive services, but they have ton of data, their media files and all. So if you can add your own files, but again, you need a blob storage for that. So I don't have anything here. I can create search. Again, I'm not configured, but it's possible that if you don't have Azure blob storage or cognitive services, you can upload the files. It will go to your blob storage, and then you can have your Azure OpenAI services working there. Okay, something new which Microsoft released a couple of months back. Okay, so we see the models, we see other things as well later on. Okay, so but because we have seen about models, now you can see have some basic understanding how the models work. Okay, now some fun part we will do is about the use cases, right? So, use cases are always exciting. Okay, I hope everyone knows about Bing, right? I didn't use it till the Microsoft not released the OpenAI service, right? Okay. I'm using Google for most of the things. I just want to just tell you know that Microsoft released 3 different categories, right? One is the basic chat. This is free. Your Gmail, your everything will work for you. Okay. But Microsoft released something called as an enterprise chat. And this is something very special. Why special is because many customers are not doesn't want to share the data in public, right? And think about the enterprise data, right? They have a lot of things. Think about any industry where the financial data has to be kept very safe, right? So it won't work for those industries. Think about the hospital industries. Think about the travel industry. They want to keep their data safe, and that's why Microsoft released. Now, this is not today's date. This is I think 2 weeks back. I don't know. I took a screenshot only. But this one is help to have using your all the commercial customers, whether they are into manufacturing, they are into hospitals and all, they can use that data. The data which is part of their systems, and the Microsoft doesn't scan, no training, doesn't do any trainings. Okay. Okay, and that is the beauty of that. So chat, the Bing chat is basic chat, which needs personal ID, no issue with that. Personal chat,
Hey,
the
Aro, you
yes,
mentioned about enterprise bench chat. It has been launched a couple of days back, but
yeah.
I have been using into my organization's Edge browser, and I see that happening maybe 2 to 3 months back. I've been using that since then.
Yeah, they don't release. Maybe you are or you are a customer. They have 600 customers in the world. They actually they give for pre-release to the this thing. So I was not that thing, but I saw it
Okay.
2 weeks back only. Yeah, so it may be released early for you, but not for all. So I saw also 2 weeks back I saw it only. Is it okay? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
And the
fine.
third one is the Copilot, which is released 1st November, which is $30 per user per month. Uh, this is I don't talk about pricing, but something with this I want to tell you about this thing. Okay. Um, and why they want to do it, Microsoft want to do it is because it's from Microsoft. It's actually customers ask for that. Microsoft always listen to the customers and make it working for them. So all the commercial customers, finance to hospitals to travel or any industries, they need to have their data to be safe, right? And that's why the data should be all the chat, all the things should be private for them. Even I talk, for example, I have 500 users. My name Aroh should not be shown into that enterprise chat. So, which means all my users' names, all my data won't be trained. The issue with ChatGPT is trained. Even I do sync, I ask him questions, it get trained for that. And this is many customer doesn't like. I'll give an example. I'll give you an idea on that. So that's what that is a issue with the normal ChatGPT. But now Microsoft working on the enterprise which data which is confidential data. Okay. Now give you something examples of why you should not use ChatGPT. Okay, for your homework for your kids is okay, but never ever try to using on your own personal stuff and all, because a reason being never know, maybe they're training your own data. uh, if I want to show you, I will show the screenshot that uh, chat history and training, say the chat gpt keep training it, right? Because they have only not too much data, so they click on ChatGPT training, they are keep training it, which means the whatever you search, they are getting into their LLM, their own large models, right? This is not good for the many organizations. Okay, I will show you what it works in. Second thing, many organizations are banning ChatGPT. Example of Apple not using it. Samsung have fired 3 people because they have sensitive data. So again, I'm not telling you don't use ChatGPT. Obviously, you can use it, but do with caution. I do use it, but only for fun thing. I don't use anything from anything with this sensitive data on there. Okay. Now, what is the different one and think for an enterprise chat? Because it's low cost. Is if you have subscription, obviously it's no cost for you. Obviously, um, data is not retained. There's no training. No training, and your IT policies are applied, which means that you have some any policies, they adhere to that policies. That is the main differences between the Bing chat and the open chat GPT. That's the main differences. Okay. Now let's give a demo before that. We will see the and how you can draft examples using enterprise chat. How you can create the messages, and also how we can summarize your data, right? A lot of data we can search, and many options you can have. I have this only few example I have, and then we see how it works. Okay. But before that, I have some other diagrams we can show you. Now I don't know. Oh God, this is the image is gone now. Today some images issues there. Yeah, it's okay. Let me show you what of enterprise chat. Maybe I will show the use cases scenario later on. But I will show you something which is very important. Now, this is my own another tenant, and it has something called as my own ID. Okay. Um, One important thing, if you want to use enterprise Bing enterprise data, you have to using a non Microsoft account, non Gmail account or Hotmail account. It won't work for you. So I have my own subscription. I'm an ID called as Aroh MVP on Microsoft.com. So on Microsoft account will work for you. Somebody asked me this question, it will work for you. It won't work for the personal email address. Okay. So that is something which I want to show you. I will give us 3 examples. Then we see the beauty of how things works. Okay. So first thing is about I want to have email. Okay. And I have this email. Okay, this is working fine. I click on here. You see here, protect it. If you're using a normal email address, I have another email address I have. Maybe yeah. This is my um, this is has a Copilot. It is Copilot, and because it's using email address of Outlook. Oh, this is not this Outlook. Okay. So other system which I'm using is protected, which means it's for enterprise data. Okay. Now I give an example here that I want to have a very simple scenario of using reply to email. Now this is the things. Now I got this email from about Quest for Microsoft 365, and I want to reply to this guy. Okay, so I click on something called as compose. Okay, okay, and then I will reply to that this particular person. SharePoint. Anyways, it won't reply, but it's want to say share more about your pricing. So I don't know how this pricing they are giving pricing and all. I can go for casual tone or enthusiastic tone. Now because I'm working in a corporate environment, I can go click on that. I can have bullet points, and then as a I can add as a blink LinkedIn post, or I can do just click on that. I put a short summary. I generate. So this is the thing that generate a draft. You see here, your personal data is protected. Okay, and then what I can do, okay, this is not a very good example, but this is the way I can just copy paste and share it to that to the my end user. Okay, this is the thing. Tell your pricing, and I can just send it to you. So this is the way you can compose your own things using emails. Now, what happened? I want to reply. So I want to reply. This is the email. Now, this is another user in my tenant, and I'm asking that, can you share more about the stocks for the next week? So I had no idea about what stocks are changed. Maybe Microsoft released a new Copilot, so stocks have increased maybe. So what I can do, I just click on Compose again and tell him, okay. Now, other example, I showed you that I'm replying it. In this example, I'm telling to him, okay, this is the way you can do it. Pricing, so I have this thing. What I'm asking him to send me this. Now, I'm again in the context, because I'm replying to this guy, name is Alex, and I'm asking about the stocks. So it work on the context. One thing to take note here is that it can't track the name of the user, can't track the your projects, can't track anything. But giving you some scenarios, you can copy paste or modify the things for your usage. So I can ask, click on this. Because maybe that English I have, maybe it's not too strong, so I can just do it and just reply to Alex. Okay. So this is okay. Possible example, dear sir, madam, and this is the content I'm writing for about this price has increased by 50%, whatever it is. And then now again, so this is the way. So all things are ready-made for me. I don't to go Google search or Bing search and find. I just copy it, reply to him, or I can modify if you want to modify. So this is the using enterprise Bing chat, using the using protected data and sensitive data. So all the things will work in that way. Now, this is not a very good example, but telling you that if you want to have more, it's a very simple example. I have seen many complex scenarios where emails can be modified and changed, but you get the idea that how you can modify the things there. Okay, so this is a one example. Other example is using Teams, right? Now I want to have maybe have another user called as Megan, right? And I asked the same question with Megan. Where is my Megan girl? Is Megan here? Okay. Hi, Aroh, can you tell me about the project scope for Power Platform governance with the Center of Excellence as a centerpiece? Okay. And Aroh doesn't know about what is COE, right? So what Aroh will do, I mean, that matter any person, what he will do, because we are again we are in the context, right? In the context of the team chat. Okay. So what I will do, I will go to Compose first, click on Compose. Okay, and he's asking about things. So I just copy paste. The spelling mistakes are fixed. That I can just go to enthusiastic. I maybe as a email paragraph, maybe I have a long. I generate a draft. Okay, so I've given it one example using email. The second example is using the Teams chat, right, which is mostly common for many organizations. So I'm done with this. I copy and just tell Megan that this is the way. Now I can modify this. Maybe it's not 15%, could be 25%. But you get the idea that I can modify and adjust. Okay. Now, one thing I want to also share, which is why I found it's very, very interesting, is about the PDFs. Actually went for many PDFs for different organizations, and it's very difficult to share with the manager or any with a colleague about the PDF is maybe for 100 pages. I want to give summary. There's no way I can do summary. We have to read the things. Now, good thing about Bing Chat is that I will go. I have one document, right? Again, we are part of the summary. I click on open with Bing Microsoft Edge. Okay. Okay. Now this is the PDF. Again, we are under where? We are under Bing Chat and the data is protected. This is my own file, which is in my PC. It's not in SharePoint. I just want to have shared this thing. I want to summarize, right? So what I can do here is that I select the file, which I've shown you. I want to click on summarize. So what I will do, I will click on chat now, click on chat, and I ask to summarize the text. Summarize this PDF. Now, this is one of the example. Now, I have done with more than 100 files, pages. Click on this, and later it will give me a summary. And I found this particular thing is very, very useful and also very meaningful. I have to spend many times for proposals, and it's very difficult to understand the proposal, what the main things, and what are the main things, and what is the pricing. Because in the pricing they put in the bottom or on the front. I can't visualize. So this summary or any, if you have the Word document, change to PDF, or you have a PPT, change to PDF, and then you can view it. Even Word documents can work for that. So this is a way you can have your own data, personal data, scanned and worked. Okay, and this is again, this came only 2 weeks back, and it tested on my tenant, on my corporate tenant. It worked beautifully, it's no issue. So I thought I will share this thing with you on that. And this is my common tenant, like which I shared to my in my community events, right? Something very exciting. Okay, so yeah, any questions so far? Because I just want to give you the glimpse on that. Anything which you have any questions so far? So I take a pause here for 1 minute.
No questions in the chat window at least.
Okay, then which means is good that we are on time. Now this documentation is updated every 2-3 days, right? So please always refer to the Microsoft documentation. Last week I showed this document. I want to show to one of my user, and they showed Aroh, this data is not updated. And then, oh God, I was like, I never knew that within 2 days, 3 days, they changed the document. Um, just like any application in Microsoft, they always have limitations and also have some quotas, right? If you know about SharePoint, right? In SharePoint, we have lookups. You can have 8 lookups only. The data could be, if you have large data, 500 view, this is the limitations. Power Apps, we have 50 people can 50, 500 content can be seen. You can extend to 2000. So we always have limitations, but in Power Apps, in Azure OpenAI, they are different. There are difference here. So in this example, have a request model. We have DaVinci, ChatGPT, GPT-4 have different models. Pricings are different, right? So I just click on this page, and you can see that this is a OpenAI services. This is the see when is updated. Yeah, just two weeks back only. Not much change happened there, but just go to take note on this. Another thing which I will tell you is about the um, many people ask me that Aroh, can we train the GPT? Uh, Answer is no, you can't train GPT because it's a fully function application and it's a large model. So if you want to train it, it takes a lot of money to train it. Okay, so you can't train GPT, but you can do fine tuning. Okay, there are differences there. Fine tuning means you can use a lower model like Ada, Babbage. You can fine tune them. That is the thing, but you can't do ChatGPT, which is like slightly more complex, and the having training them is very costly. Okay, so that is something which I want to share with you that you because people asked me earlier. Um, yeah, this is the latest one. This is the one which I showed with you on this. Pricing is again, there's no image showing up, but let me show you the pricing as well. Pricing. Where's the pricing here? Oh, the pricing is here. Okay, so this is the updated one, and pricing model. If you are working for testing purposes, I again, don't take me as an example. The lot of regions are grayed out because everything is in preview and they don't have any capacity in these regions. I always try East US and East US too because it always works, right? Now, these are new regions, UK, West, even in Asia, we have some regions. India also has, but there's no capacity, right? So even if you try a new region, test it out, it won't work, right? So when you do the pricing and all, the pricing is almost same. There's no much change. But always look for regions that have more capabilities, right? If I search, example, I go for West, there's no pricing because there's no capacities there. Okay, so try, if you're testing, try a model where you have capacity. Okay, fine tuning, I mentioned about fine tuning. You can do trainings, but you see the GPT, more training, more costing required. You can't do training for the GPT-4. It's a slightly more complex. There's a ton of data has to be done and a ton of pricing required. So you can't see GPT-4 there. Why? because no organization has that much money to do training. So that is something I want to share with you in that. Okay. Okay. One more thing before I forget is about Dolly. I didn't share with you that one, so let me share that one to you. So this is one I created, right? I just deleted because maybe a cost for me later on. I'll do it later first thing. I'll show the Dolly first. So Dolly is similar thing, but the only difference is that rather than having text, you can have ask a text to make the image, right? So similar model, you can ask for the endpoint and the key, and then you can work on that. But if you want to test yourself, there's a playground, right? Click on the playground. You will be able to find it. Let me check a simple example that I want to create an image of yeah, which Dolly example here. Okay, and I want to create an image of Taj Mahal with dark clouds. By the way, you can do the similar stuff in your personal account. You can use uh, create an image and those things inside that one. So it's very beautifully done. But I'm showing you how you can do it. So when you do Dolly, what you can do here, you can just make an image. You can all if you don't, I didn't like this image, I can just regenerate the image again. I can download this image or I can see the code. What is the code for this image? So this is the Python code. This is the Python code. You can have JSON content as well. And I can call the endpoint and call the GPT. Okay, so this is the way I can use Dolly without any pricing. I can use same thing for my personal Bing chat as well. I use for my own images as well at times. Again, I want to have another image of Eiffel Tower. Eiffel Tower, spelling correct or not? Okay, so okay, and with the sunny weather. Last spelling mistakes. Yeah, so you can give an image and that will give you the image for that. So this is newly created. Is no copyright will be there because coming from the ChatGPT. Yes. So Dolly is one of the examples. Again, it's in preview. The ChatGPT thing is working, which is in preview. It is working fine. No issue with this. So you can do the preview that. Okay. I have 5 minutes more, Nandeep. I want to just show something and then I can just close off for questions. Nandeep, Smita, anyone who was in
yeah, perfectly fine, perfectly fine.
Yeah, because I want to just show something very. I just want to just close off without showing the things there. Okay, and pricing I showed you. And in this, in 5 to 10 minutes, I'm showing about how you can use the text models, right? And how you can leverage it. So we have to deploy. I showed you everything using the playground, but how you can deploy? I want to deploy maybe using Azure Web App or in Power Apps, how I can do it. So Microsoft given uh, ease for creating your deployment and integrate with your web apps, either your Azure Web App or in your Power Apps, right? So you can use it, deploy and test with an API. I showed you an example of API previously, and deploy using the OpenAI Studios. Okay. Um, I mentioned you that you can use deployment. I will go you. Now in this last demo, I show you how you can deploy the models and test it out. Okay. And how also you can do fine tuning filters as well. Okay. So filters I have. Second thing, in my next demo, I talk about the responsible AI, right? The AI can be also could be very harmful. Things about I have seen one of the very good example from Harvard business review that in US they're using AI, but they found that they are using 50,000 users. All the users who are have uh, uh, white skin tone, they are selected in their interviews. But people who have Asian regions or maybe other regions, they're not selected for the interviews, right? So that is not the responsible AI, right? So we will talk about responsible AI in the next sessions. I gave a very amazing example as well, but this recruiter thing is a real example which happened, and then they change the UI, they make it to manual process. Yeah. So again, content filters are important. That maybe if child can use AI or not, or something violence we can watch. No. So we have to fine tune those particular content filters, right? So we'll discuss about that thing at a later stage. But we can also using these filters in plugins as well. Microsoft putting a lot of things. I mentioned about Bing search. We can use same thing in your cognitive services as well. Okay. So let me give you an example. What I give you an example is how the content filter can work for us. Okay. So first the deployment, right? Let me deploy something new. Let me deploy. So I mentioned about how can I deploy. So I have my own model. I want to deploy. So what I can do, I click on my deployment. Search maybe a search for maybe for Turbo 16K, and deployment it called as a Pune user group model. Okay, and then is another option is that I can have my limit, more cost. Okay, so I put with the lower cost here, and then it's submitted. And then I can use this model in my Power Apps or in an Azure OpenAI. This is the way I can call my APIs, right? This is the way I can call it, right? So I have already have some models. It's not really here. So in the model. Okay, so that is a way you can just change the things with without any issues. Okay, okay. Go to the OpenAI Studios. Now, what I want to share with you is about the content filters. Why we use content filters is mostly for verification of the content we are deploying to our customers or internal teams. Are they safe? Okay, so content filters are in preview, but I can create my own content filters. But what are the content filters? Content filters, I give me example. I gave an example of Pune user group. Now I can have some different penalties, yes, severity. I can have in my model can have a hate speech. No, I doesn't want to hate speech. This is it's a community event. I doesn't want to have hate speech. Maybe I can have a sexual content inside. Like no, this is the children are there also inside. I'd want to have. Can you have a self harm suicide? No. So this is a community event. I doesn't want to have this event. Violence? No. So in this way, I can have this user prompts and my models are defined that these are my severities, how my models will work in that sense. Okay, so I will give because it's part of next session. I'll give you more details on that, but at least an idea that when you deploy a model inside into Power Apps or any other models, for example, I can set my content filters using this way. Right, I click save, and then when deploy into any third-party systems, it will using that particular thing. So if somebody put a suicidal content, it won't filter at all. It said, sorry, this model doesn't work for this particular scenario. So what I'm telling you is very important to have content filtering for the responsible AI, because we don't want to have a content which is responsible and also have a no self harm and something which is not good for the community. Okay, so that is my last slide, and then I will fix my images, which is something which is not working fine. But if anyone have questions, I'm sorry I took more time today, but just want to share with you that if any questions, you can just ask me, and then we can wrap the session.